Commiserations, Gary.
No problem.
Your thoughts on today's game?
Knew it was going to be very tough against a strong, physical side like Dover, who play very direct, very effective. Got some very, very good players, a very good experienced manager. We knew it was going to be tough. We're a side at the moment which has been very indifferent, very poor recently with our performances, low on confidence, with a certain amount of confidence taken out of senior players as well as so many young ones. I felt that the first 20-25 minutes we got pounded in a big way. Couldn't afford to give the cheap free kicks away, which we did. Rode our luck. Jake Cole made some good saves, but the pleasing factor was that we hung in there really, and we've got basically to a stage in the first half where I thought we were just starting to settle, and all of a sudden they get a free kick which we've given away cheaply, and they've got the goal 1-0 up, and it was a case of really hanging in there to half time really, John, and that's what we've done, you know, and pleased to be in at half time 1-0 down, you know, really was. But I felt second half that, you know, the longer the game went on, there was some encouraging signs, and you know, certainly the last 25 minutes I thought we were the better side. I'm not saying that we deserved anything out of the game, John, but when you've been playing as poorly as we have and you're low on confidence, it was encouraging to see the supporters getting behind the boys to try and lift them, and the supporters deserve that. They've been let down recently, whatever way you look at it. I don't think players mean to freeze on the day, or players go out there to have a poor game on purpose. You know, we've got a very testing time at the moment, the way I look at it really. We've got a lot of young players in there, which some of them young players can be playing very, very well and confidence could be high, and some of them young players can go through a spell at the moment where results go against you, you get low on confidence. But all credit to the supporters, they can see that, you know, that football players can be high 1 minute and low the next. And you know, I'm pleased at the end of the day, John, not that we've got beat, but I'm pleased that we've hung in there for 90 minutes, because, you know, last week was the worst 90 minutes I've experienced in the 5 years being at Woking. It's been a tough week all the way round. You looked at it and you feel so much for everybody as a manager. You take a responsibility for your supporters and everybody who works so hard at the football club, and everybody was let down. And you know, there's been a few own truths told this week, there's no doubt about that, John, in every way I form. And I asked the team to go out there today and give a reaction. I can accept, and I think the supporters can, that, you know, no one wants to lose, but there's a way of going to work, and I think we've done that today, John. You know, I've got no complaints in respect to the commitment and the effort today, but we are finding ourselves now in a very testing time, with a lot going on at the football club, one way or another. Whatever way we look at it, John, we've controlled it very well as a management side inside the changing room. We continue to do that over the final 10 games. We've got some young players in who've come in from league clubs to gain experience for their development, like we've had in the past. You know, certain players in the past who've come here and done very, very well, and we're giving that opportunities, and then clubs are giving us the opportunities to try and get these players going. You look at us today, we're very, very young, very, very young against a very strong, powerful side, and we haven't been disgraced.
And noticeable, Gary, that when you made the changes in the second half, it seemed to sort of reinvigorate the side and look much more dangerous, but didn't really create any opportunities, perhaps apart from Kieran Mercer's volley. Yeah,
I agree with that. I agree with that. You know, I felt that, you know, with 25 minutes to go and we made some changes that, you know, it seemed to freshen us up. I think the changes were at the right time. You know, we ain't creating enough at the moment, John. We ain't working the other goalkeepers of the opposing team enough at the moment, but there were some encouraging signs that we got ourselves in some very good positions. Lack that little bit of quality to, you know, take the rewards out of that. But, you know, the pleasing factor was that when the game finished, John, there was a lot of people who, understandably, which I'm grateful for, see that we're having a low period, John. We're having a low period, and it happens, and I've said that out there. You know, that when you see the Man Uniteds and the Chelseas, it happens at every level of football. You can have a bad time, and you have to dig deep, and we have to work hard. And you know, we're working very, very hard at the moment with some young players in the team. People have to understand. I'm not saying that people aren't understanding in a way, but people have to be aware of made aware that, you know, we're getting people like, you know, loan players for nothing. You know, these clubs are helping us out with their development. We're not in a position where we can go and splash the cash like other clubs can. We are very, very, or have been very, very unlucky this season with our injuries in every way or form, and we've continued over a 5-year period. And John, we still find ourselves at the moment in a position round the halfway mark in the league, and that's where it is at the moment. Which, if we land up, which we want to be in the top 10, if we land up in the top half, it's been a long season, it's been a hard season. Has the desire gone? No. Has the passion gone? No. Has the love for the club gone? No. But there's a lot to be, you know, sorted out, hopefully sooner rather than later, for the football club, I hope, as a positive for the future, for the supporters in every way, and for the football team and the football club with a management team to push on going forward.
And Gary, you alluded to it earlier, how difficult is it as a manager and for the players when you can never pick a settled side? For example, again this afternoon you had Bruno Andrade, who was out injured. You had to fetch in a new loan player, Daniel Carr, and it must make it awkward and problematic having to constantly change things all the time.
Well, you have that, John. You know, you've got Bruno Andrade out today. He's out injured. He's out. You've got Matt Robinson out injured. You've got Brian Sarr out with an injured hamstring. It's been that sort of season, John. It's been that sort of season all the way through. It's been that sort of season. It's been very tough. There's no secret about that, you know, from the start of the season. But not tough to turn around and feel sorry for yourself or think to yourself, I want out, or I want to go and do this, or should I go and do that? You know, we keep doing it. We keep punching. We keep fighting. And we've done ever so well over them 5 years. We really have, and we're going to try and do our best for the last 10 games. But it's been very draining. There's no doubt about that. That things don't improve financially one way or another, or haven't improved. We've been, you know, punching above our weight, and it's been hard. And I thought this year were arguably like getting Scott Rendell to sign and getting Ismail Yakubu to sign was going to be really an interesting season for us, even though we lost a lot of good experienced quality players and 9 changes from last year. And I was really pleased with the way we started off, you know, the squad of players out was assembling, but we took some major blows, not only as a management team but as a supporter and as a football club. And you know, we are where we are, John, as a football club, and we're determined to be proud of our football club in every way or form. And you know, I see these supporters who spend money on this football club, and they're brilliant. And I see the people who work at the club, including yourself and other people, voluntary. They have their highs and lows like we do as a management team, but we all stick together, and we've done really well over the last 5 years. You might think I'm going on a little bit now, but I'm trying to put it into perspective and reality. Over the last 4 years, our budget we work on as a football club, at the end of the day, as a part-time football club, is just over the 300 grand mark. We pay 40 weeks, there's no secret about that. Everybody, there's lots of people here who work voluntary and turn around and do this and do that for the players. We've done brilliant. We've done brilliant, John. The number one aim was to get this club back in the Conference League. We've done that. What did they want to do? They wanted to stay in the Conference League. We came 12th with 62 points. What do you want the following season, Mr. Chairman? Some more of the same. We come 9th with 68 points. What do you want this season, Mr. Chairman? We come 7th with 74 points. We've continued with the help of the supporters, with sponsors, everything. This season, we're not going to quite reach the heights what we would have liked to reach. I think we can all have our opinions on it. But when I start thinking to ourselves that how consistent we've been as a football club over the last 4 years in a club and a league where we are part-time against so many full-time clubs, we have done absolutely superb. You know, we've done absolutely superb job. And all credit to Dovers and Braintrees. They're doing very, very well at the moment. But make no mistake, at the end of the day, it will be, I believe, one of the big guns who will win it, and it'll be one of the big guns who will win the playoffs. But we have to keep looking after our house. So, you know, hopefully the future gets sorted out for the football club going forward, sooner rather than later. You know, whatever way we look at it, like, you know, there's always seems to be a bit of a battle between us, Dover and Braintree, each year who's going to be round that playoff area. And Dover and Braintree are pushing it well at the moment. It's not our year for that part, but you know, last year we were above them too, and it's where it is. It's very, very close between the sides who are part-time, but full-time teams, ex-Football League clubs will be encouraged by the parachute payment to try and keep the clubs in the circle or in the swim back in their league as soon as possible.
And one of our leading lights this season, Gary, has been John Goddard. So you must be delighted to see that form realised with him in the England C squad to face Ukraine.
John Goddard's done brilliant. When you start talking about any midfield player going to get 17 goals at any level of football out of 36 games, tremendous achievement for a forward to get 1 in 2. John Goddard's done very, very well. He deserves that accolade, and rightly so. He's been, without doubt, as far as I'm concerned, the player at this football club this season, who's been very, very consistent. There's no doubt about that. So I'm pleased for John, and he's a great lad, and he's got a good family behind him who, you know, have guided him to be a level-headed lad. But as I say, we've got 10 to play. All I'm asking for is a bit of honesty from the players to the end. Try and get as many points as we can. That's what the supporters want. See where we are April the 30th. Hopefully we know where we're going in the near future with the football club. You know, as a manager, you're trying to, as I said earlier, you're trying to focus on things one way or another. I think that we've done our bit as a management team with the players over the last 5 years, and hopefully there'll be people out there or that who can push this football club on to be able to fight and compete against other clubs where we need to be in that line of self-efficiency. When you see other clubs coming through in the lower leagues now doing very well, like Sutton United and Maidstone and Ebbsfleet and clubs like that, we can't let everyone overtake us, John, so we've got to keep going.
Lovely, thank you very much, Garry. Safe journey home.
Cheers.